Well, hello everybody. I hope you're having a blessed and beautiful day today. I am so sorry. I tried to make a video yesterday. My video editor that I normally use stopped working, and so I had to find a new one, and I'm still learning it. And I thought I was recording and I was talking for probably 15 minutes and didn't realize that it actually wasn't recording. So I'm here now. Yeah, so I apologize. I had something I wanted to share with you yesterday and I wasn't able to do it. There's the sheep out there doing their thing. I'm surprised they aren't running up to the gate. Usually they do. There's a couple of things that I wanted to share with you just briefly. And I'll come on later and kind of read the article for you. But there's one that's kind of a touchy subject. It's Australia's first abortion doula, and that one is it's so heart-wrenching and it's so sad. And I think a lot of times our brain, we don't realize just how evil and wicked the world really is, because a lot of this stuff goes, flies underneath our nose, and we don't realize that this stuff is actually going on, and it is. So I wanted to read that article for you. I'll do that later in the next video. There's some updates also. The Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is now out. He said his goodbyes, and the Bennett was just sworn in today. So that's interesting to keep an eye on. If you remember my dream 2 years ago, August, and 2 years ago, I had a dream that Netanyahu was going to lose, and then the next person that came in was the Antichrist. And me and many others were trying to tell and warn people that this guy was the Antichrist, and nobody would listen, and people were mocking and stuff. And that actually happened with the mocking on that dream. People were saying that I stole that dream from rabbis and stuff, when I didn't even know that that was even a thing until after I had that dream. So and now here we are. Netanyahu is out. He lost the election, and here we go. The person that's in, he is a very Third Temple promoter. He wants the Third Temple built ASAP, among other things. And so there's that. And then we have also the Chrislam building. I just noticed the other day that that's another thing that's kind of flying under the radar, and they're not really talking about it much. But I was kind of looking to see what the update on that was, and it turns out that there is actually a grand opening building that was put in, I believe it's Italy, and then there was another one in Dubai, and then there's going to be other ones that are built as well. Those are going around globally as well, along with that giant statue that I find interesting that it says that it's going global. If it was just in one or two cities, then it would be just something that's just, it's an exhibit or whatever. It's just kind of weird. But the fact that it's going globally, and that the head moves, the arms move, and if one thing that I realized when I was looking at that statue is that the hands are not down at its side. The hands are out as if it's on the cross, and it said that the arms move up and down. So, and I saw the video where it was showing how the arms move up and down and the head moves up and down. And in Revelation 13, it speaks of the beast giving his image life, of breath of life. And I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing that, but and the fact that this thing is going globally, and it can produce any image that it wants. It reminds me of the story of Nebuchadnezzar and the image that he had, where people were bowing to this thing, and it took an act of God for the people to realize that this was a graven image, and that he was the God of the universe, and not these false gods. And it's the same thing that's going to happen with this. I think, being the fact that it's going globally, I think it's going to be used as an image worship, because it says in the Bible that the people that refuse to worship the image of the beast are put to death. And so it's the same thing like in Nebuchadnezzar. The people that refused to worship the image of him were put in the fire, or put to death, or what he thought was put to death. You know, and I think that this thing is going to be the image of the beast that we are looking at here, because it can project any human form, any face, any voice, and the fact that it moves. I think that, you know, the beast is going to give it the breath of life, and cause signs and wonders, and people to worship it without even realizing possibly that they're even worshiping the beast. But that's where this is headed. We also have another instance that happened today in New York. People were dining at the restaurants, and pro-Palestinian protesters, I guess you call them, they surrounded all these restaurants, and they were shouting Allah Akbar, and they were saying death to Israel and burning the Israeli flag. And then we have people in government that call Israel terrorists. And so we are seeing the hatred of Israel. We're seeing, I mean, there's always been a hatred of Israel. Look at, you know, World War II. That was just an example. But it's growing, and Israel is becoming a cup of trembling, and people are turning their eyes and ears and face away from Israel. Even so-called believers, they are beginning to have a hatred towards Israel. They're beginning to feel like it's Israel's fault that all of this stuff is happening, and they're turning their face away from Israel. We have a lot of people that are in the church that are they're in the church, but they're of the world. They proclaim with their mouth that they know Jesus, but they don't. They are saying that they're ex-evangelical, and they're actually serving a new age gospel and a new age Jesus. And we are seeing a rise in that as well. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to come on really quick and just share with you just these few little tidbits. And I have an article I am going to read later about that abortion doula that I want to read, and that is a very sensitive topic. So if you're, you know, weak in the stomach, I encourage you not to listen to it. But it just shows the evil depravity that we have in the world today. And, you know, it just breaks my heart, because people just, it's like they don't care, or they are so depraved in their mind that they honestly don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. They have no moral compass anymore. People have turned their eyes away from everything good and towards everything that's evil. You know, that was another one too, is over in the Middle East. I forget, I want to say it's Iraq or Iran somewhere. I might be mistaken, but anyways, they're shutting people's phones off if they refuse the job. They are taking their phones away and shutting them off if they're refusing it. So, you know, this is leading up to, you know, the mark of the beast, and, you know, all of this stuff. And it's not a coincidence that this giant statue is appearing all of a sudden at the same moment and the same time. We're hearing about that, but we're also hearing about the stuff in Israel and the new government that's over there. You know, it's not a coincidence that we have all of this popping up at the same time, at this moment and this time, when we see prophecy unfolding. You know, and the stuff, the big one is the stuff in Israel and how Bibi is out. And unfortunately, I believe, just by watching him and listening to him and watching his movements just over the last few years, and watching, you know, the rabbis and stuff, you know, communicating with him, it seemed as if he spoke a lot of words, but he didn't really mean what he said. I don't believe that he was a third temple promoter. I believe that he was all talk, and he just didn't really get anything done. He wasn't, because he didn't try. He didn't try to even do anything. He didn't allow the Jews to sacrifice. He stopped it. It's just, he was all a lot of talk about the temple. But now you have somebody in there, whether they like him or not, if he can get that temple built and he can get it started, they're going to worship him as their Messiah. And who knows if this is the guy that those rabbis were talking about him being their Messiah, or about, whatever. We don't know. But being the fact that he's a very extremely pro Third Temple person, and now he's in there, I mean, this is all gonna start going downhill, and it's gonna go fast. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to share those things with you and just let you know I'm here, I'm alive. I tried to make a video, and again, I was talking a mile a minute and didn't realize that it wasn't taping. So I am on here now to let you know I am alive. I am gonna read an article later. I sort of changed my mind about posting the video about John MacArthur. I just, as much as I say, this is going to end now, I just don't want dissension. And, if I, in the future, find something or hear something of his that I agree with, I will post it. Absolutely. I'm not going to shy away from that. But as far as, the tape, I think I was doing it out of flesh and trying to get one up on people, so I'm just not going to post it. But again, if I find something of his later, I'm not going to shy away from it just because I'm afraid. I'm going to, so if I see something. But anyways, guys, I will talk to you later. I'm going to go get the kids some ice cream. It is warm and toasty here today. It's funny because yesterday was raining and in the 50s. Today it is in the 90s and it is so hot. Not complaining, but it is hot. So anyways, guys, there's the sheep for the last time. Usually they come running up. I'll have to do a video when I have bread. They love bread. I'll have to do one when I shake the bag and just, you'll hear them just coming from everywhere and which way they come running. So anyways, guys, I love you, and until next time, may you be richly blessed.